It was awesome. I couldn't believe it because you watch this stuff as you were, growing up as a kid, and then it got pulled off, obviously because of the violence. But then giving an opportunity, to go, wow, this is Power Rangers. It's quite up there. So I got an audition, got a callback, then got my final callback, and I managed to get the role as Red Ranger, which was the leader. And it was awesome because I love martial arts and I love action films, which is my next goal. I guess my love and passion for that's where it grew, basically, when, I'm actually really good. I believe that I'm good enough to be an actor, I guess, and funny enough, it was martial arts, so I was like, this is heaven to me. So I had a ball, which was awesome, and learning more moves off the stunties was wicked as well. As soon as I finished Power Rangers, I got asked to play Vinnie. And then I was like, wow, this is Shortland Street, it's the biggest soap in the whole of New Zealand. So I was thinking, yeah, you're not going to turn it down, obviously. And me being about 22 or 23 at that age, I was like, yes, it's good to carry on a good career. So I came in, and I had a little bit of a wonky start. When I watched my first couple of episodes, they were shocking. They were shocking. So sometimes, I remember getting the B cuts of my first couple of eps and taking them to my mate's house and playing them over and having a pretty much of a laugh. Yeah, they laughed at my expense. So yeah, my acting wasn't that good at that stage. It's kind of made me have to take it a little bit more serious and put more work and effort into it. You can't kind of go, oh, I'll come back to that. You have to always be reading your scripts and finding out where your storylines are and trying to get a hold and grasp of where your character's journey is. So in that sense, it's made me kind of pick my game up a little bit more. I mean, the first time around, I was pretty young, so I kind of mucked around a little bit and partied a lot. I was single, so I vowed if I ever came back, which is why I'm back now, that I would take a little bit more seriously and get a little bit more in depth. I think that comes with maturity, which I think I have, although I dress like I'm a little kid still, just like a teenager. Don't mind the snapback, it's all right, it's this whole part of my entourage. He's in the title, but doesn't appear very much in the movies. Yeah, that was a good experience too. I really enjoyed that because I'm with the boys that I look up to. I mean, those boys like the likes of Oscar Kiley, my brother Dave Fane, Shimpao Leilisi, those boys, they basically paved the way for us Pacific Islanders to come through. I mean, they started off with the Laughing Samoans and created all this stuff by themselves. And now look at us, there's so much more brown talent that's on TV, And I'm just glad that they helped me, and to be a part of what they created or what Oscar created. That was a great meaning for me, and it didn't matter. And I think he basically goes, oh, I think Pua can play this, so that's how I got that role. 30 Days a Night was awesome because it was, I auditioned for a role, but I got another one. It was a small role, but crucial to the storyline. I had to establish a machine that they had later used against the vampires, but it was wicked coming to the read-through there and meeting Hollywood, you class them as like A-grade actors, and Josh Hartnett was in there. He was the lead. So being amongst his presence going far out, you got Josh Hartnett, which puts on more pressure. So when you come to your only 5 lines, you got to make them good, or else you're going to sound like an idiot in front of everyone. But that was cool. I got to do the American accent again on the movie screens. I found it scary at first, especially when you have to go for a read-through, because I was so used to Shortland Street where you don't do read-throughs, you just go and rehearse. And it felt like film to me because they do a read-through of an episode every time. So you go in and, you learn your lines and you kind of read through your script and you're trying to get the gist. But as soon as you get into the read-through, everyone's just firing it off because it's so natural to them because they do it all the time. But you're sitting here going, oh no, it's my turn. And then you start getting the hot flurries and you're going, oh man, I hope I deliver this right. And then when you you give your perception of the line, it kind of doesn't come out the way you want it, so you get nervous. They've all worked with each other the whole time, so they're like a family. So when you're coming into someone else's family, it can get quite nerve-wracking, but a lot of those people I knew beforehand, which made it a lot more comfortable for me. And it was cool trying to play someone who's a bit badass. And they're very, very popular. One of them that wasn't even, I think the advertising company didn't want to launch it on New Zealand television because it involved you having to hit someone in the head with a spoon. But that was the most popular. It was the best gag. It was the best gag, and it was only because our director at that time, he came up with that gag and really, really wanted to shoot it. So off the cuff, he just decided 10 minutes to go, let's just roll cameras and go with whatever. And we came up with that. So the beautiful thing I loved about this was it's improv. He gave us the gist of what he wanted, but we basically came up with our own dialogue. And that's what I loved about it, because it wasn't like a couple of lines we had to deliver, it was all raw, like improv is, you know, you just have to come up with it at the time. And that's why I think they were funny, because it was genuine. You know, genuine comedy, wasn't planned, wasn't rehearsed, it was just how you would be funny in a funny situation. The beautiful thing, I got to play a cop, never played it, but it's funny, as soon as you put on costume, you feel the role straight away. And that's what I like about acting too. As soon as you put on your costume, you become the person who you are, you know? And that's what I think's a helpful thing about becoming an actor. Is it's like putting on the All Black jersey. You know, you put on the All Black jersey, you're ready to play. When we put on our costume, we're ready to act, or we're ready to play, you know? And I think that was one thing that helped me was as soon as I put on the uniform, I felt like I was a cop, you know? So I tried to walk like a cop, I tried to talk like a cop, you know? And it was like any other role I play, you know? I love playing anything, and I like playing something that's different. The good thing about this one was more of a serious role, so it's good to play someone who helps out the Pacific people out there, which is, you know, sounds a little bit cliche, but yeah. I did one episode where I played a criminal. We played a scene where it involved a gun, and because I had shot someone who was related, I told him to go all out. I said, you know what, I don't care what you do, you just do whatever it needs to be. If it's serious, I don't care if you hurt me. Because I believe that's how you get the raw actor feeling, that real feeling of becoming another person. It's playing a real feeling. Instead of acting it, we're actually doing it. So he stuck a gun in my mouth and pinned me up against the wall, threw me around. I had handcuffs on, they were cutting into my wrists. But I actually felt, we had a talk, and I went, you know what, this is what it's all about. This is what it's like to be an actor. You don't act someone's feeling, you have to really honestly feel it. It's about honesty. You know, you have to go to those places. And I think that's what makes a good actor, is being able to be honest and true, and playing the character as truthful as possible, because it will show on screen. It will show. It'll show more than what you see out there, you know? And then that led me on to getting something else. And I think everything's worked by chance. Chance has steered me in the direction where I'm at today, which is why I take my job a lot more serious.